because I typed
Live streaming is on.
You might have deleted it or something.
So all you got to do is when you go into the Hangout page, then you look over at, it'll say suggestions for invites. It'll pull off your list.
Yeah.
And then you just fucking click his name and it'll send it.
Yeah, I haven't done that yet.
Because me typing it in, it might not have worked. Or he was just pissing him on and to piss him on.
Yeah.
Who fucking knows what's going on with half of these guys now. Oh, Dominic's in the Hangout. How's it going, Dominic?
Oh, in the
Chat. Now, I wonder if I keep the chat box if I freaking click full screen, which I don't. That sucks. Try it. Nope. I lose the chat screen. Dang it. Cool. Going to live at work. Oh. And that's all it took to freaking retweak the shoulder again. Well, I went in before I came on. I washed my hands, freaking drying my hands off. All of a sudden, my freaking shoulder popped, and it freaking hurt. So, hopefully, with the reset up, this will go away. Cool.
Dominic's is going to work for 2 weeks.
Yeah, going to live at work. I couldn't do it. I could go live at the fire hall, but there's no way in frickin' hell I could go live at work. Not where I worked. That would drive me nuts. We had a blizzard one night, and they told us we had to stay at the shop, and I was like, really, Dave? And he's like, yeah. I was like, I'm a whole mile from my house. 1. And 2, how about I call Larry and Glenn and say, hey, if there's any fire calls tonight, I ain't available because I have to stay at the shop until the blizzard's over. He walked out the door. But yeah, I didn't think he liked that one too much. And 4 of the guys that were at work, they were going to crash at a buddy's, and I told Kim, I was like, you can drive home if you want and just use the bullshit excuse that you're staying at my place, or you can stay at my place. He's like, I'll try to go home. It's like, if I get in trouble, I'll turn around and come back to your place. Well, look, that's what I would do, but oh, that damn shapes. Yeah, I came down here this morning. We shaking so bad I didn't want to take that pill, so I got mad and went to bed. So I come back down, still shaking, so I started doing the other stuff. So okay, when I get done, it should be gone. No. Fine, how do you do day?
You get cold there again, or it was cold way down in Texas today. It was like 66 here.
All the crap's in North Dakota.
Guy in Texas said it was like 30 something down there.
Yeah, they get that.
Way down there.
So that's where all the snowbirds go. It's supposed to get there while they're there, so they get that spank. But nice try, you didn't get away from it. You know, my roommate's evil parents, they freaking came home already. Like, so yeah, they could have been affected. They were going to go to Georgia on their way back, and her sister told them, like, hey, you can stop all you want, but you're not coming in my house around the kids. So they were all pissed. And it's like, you freaking ignorant freaking idiots. I couldn't believe that freaking those two broads wearing the freaking N91 masks. And then I stopped. I thought there was a chance that Subway would be open. So I stopped at the other gas station where that is, and they were just walking out and got into it with the cashier about it. Same thing. And I was like, yeah, I already freaking yelled at them. I don't give a shit. I told them people need to remember who it is. And freaking, when they're in the hospital, go point it out. Make them keep them in the Medelia hospital where they die. I just want to be a bunch of ignorant fucks. I just don't feel sorry for the people that can't fucking think ahead or think of somebody besides themselves. Yeah, I had Frankie in here last night. Eval was in there last night. Shit, he was in, and all of a sudden he looked outside. Oh my God, it's morning already. It's like, I haven't had this much fun in a long time. I was like, well, I told you, you're always welcome in here, man. He can give you a different perspective on life. You just gotta ignore some of the. Let's see, they don't thump the Bible. I don't know what it is they thump, but you gotta ignore a lot of that. Which I've been doing that my whole freaking life, so it's easy for me.
So I think Easter's next weekend. They're showing the 10 Commandments on.
Yeah, I'm assuming.
Because of Easter. Good deal.
Good G'day.
How's it going, Dale?
Actually, it snowed all day long. We got about maybe 3 or so inches, but it was not nice to see this morning when I woke up.
Yeah, North Dakota got it too.
Yeah.
I got tiny bit of drizzle, and the only thing it froze on was the 2 trucks, the grass, and my wood steps on the way out of the house.
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise, it must have done something on the highway because I had 3 or 4 semis parked out on the shoulder. But man, they must have freaking just came through with the damn salt shaker and just blanketed the road. I went over to Medelia, and here I'm driving on white blacktop.
Oh, yeah.
The state must have decided, you know what, screw this shit. We're just going to dump it.
Yes, our province does that too, mostly in the fall and the spring because,
Get rid of the extra.
yeah, once it's 20 below and colder, it doesn't work so well.
No, so they usually pre-treat if they know it's coming.
Yeah.
And the shit, that frickin' chloride, that's worse than salt.
Oh, God, it's terrible. Some of these highways up here, I'm sure they're using chloride on them because they're wider than they should be with just road salt.
Well, see, the pre-treat with the chloride, you'll actually see dark streaks
Oh, yeah.
where they sprayed it down. And there ain't no frickin' dark streaks out on that road. That section of the road is just white.
Yeah.
So that tells me they just frickin' came through and dropped all the salt they could because they already paid for it. It's going to go to hell over the summer.
Yeah. It gets pretty solid sitting in the summertime.
Yeah. That's why they try to dump as much of it as they can.
Yeah. See, here they just use kind of like potash.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, potash tailings and that because we got a mess of potash mines here. So it's not hard to get the stuff.
Yeah, they used to use cinders out in South Dakota.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it made a frickin' mess.
The cities here are starting to use more gravel, like sand.
Yeah, so you use a combination of salt and sand.
Yeah, because they have, well, in Saskatoon, they set up a 15-acre asphalt sloped to a dugout, a line dugout. So then all their water, they capture all the water, and then they can reclaim all the sand and reuse it. Well, I used my first rattle can of Tamiya primer today, and it sure goes on nice and smooth.
There's one part of the state here that I think they're still playing around with beet juice.
I've heard that. I don't know if anybody's trying that stuff up here.
Yeah, I know they had one lawsuit on it because the person had some rock chips in their white paint just to clear coat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that beet juice just stained the living fuck. So I don't know how much they're going to play with that. I think they're trying to figure out the legalities to keep from having to pay for cars that are going to have some red streaks in it.
Yeah. Maybe they'll make a law that you can only have beet colored cars.
But shit, when you look at what comes out for cars now, it's white, silver, black. Very few cars out there now that are a decent red, yellow.
Yeah, you see a lot of them that they're using a combination of kind of like silver and blue, or silver and gold, silver and orange.
They try to run a lot of more neutral colors now.
Yeah. Well, I got a red half ton. It is black right now.
There just isn't a ton of them out there.
No. But mine's just covered in mud. I got 9 miles of gravel to travel on every day.
Oh.
And it's gets pretty soupy when it warms up and snow melts on it.
Yeah, I gotta decide if I'm gonna go wash my truck tomorrow or not.
Yeah, I was thinking it was supposed to be like nice this weekend, but then that all got changed because I thought maybe, well, the road had pretty near dried up the other day, but not no more.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be another week of mud. I'm not sure exactly when we're supposed to get back to plus temperatures, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. No.
Yeah, I was gonna try to get the piece of garbage running and move it from where it's sitting because the yard softened up and the front end's starting to go down, and it's like, man, it's got a 4-wheel drive, so she'll back out without tearing it up much. But
yeah, I sure like
the tire going flat, but it looks more like the tire's going in.
Yeah. Yeah, bought a 4-wheel drive 6-7 years ago, and man, I like that in the wintertime, especially if it's icy on the roads and that.
Yeah, I'd have to actually investigate why mine was trying to engage itself, and it's either the vacuum relay, which is known because it's in a piss poor place, we get water in it, or the frickin' seals on the hub went to shit and she was losing vacuum there and trying to engage it. I just frickin' unhooked the hose from it and plugged the hose.
Yeah.
I don't go anywhere in the frickin' winter, so I really don't need it.
Out of those automatic ones, I had to turn the knobs on mine. How does the automatic work? You back up or something?
What do you mean?
Hubs.
The automatic hubs just engage when you put it in 4-wheel drive.
Yeah. That's the way mine is. I just got a selector on the dash. You just click the 4-wheel drive high or 4-wheel drive low.
The old automatic hubs, you had to back them up to disengage them.
Yeah.
Shit, they ain't been those since frickin' 90s.
Yeah, it's nice. You can go 4-wheel high if you're still rolling along up to about 20 clicks on mine. And some people say that the new ones, you can just select it when it gets to whatever, maybe it's a level speed where it's not, it'll shift or something.
You can go in usually about 50, 60 miles an hour. As long as you're not accelerating.
My Ford doesn't seem to want to do that until I get down to real slow.
How old's your truck?
It's 09.
Yeah, see, my 06 would go in. As long as you let up on the gas. See, the problem I was having, she tried to go in at like 65. and you'd just hear, and then you'd go to slow down where she'd lock in, and she'd just go back to normal.
Yeah.
It drove me absolutely freaking nuts. I said, "Fuck this shit. Don't use it anyway."
Well, I'm just happy mine works.
I used it one time in the last 5 years, and that was I had to put it in 4-wheel drive to pull a tree.
Well, I've used mine 4 or 5 times in the last 2 weeks.
I don't drive mine if the roads are shitty.
Yeah.
If I get a doctor's appointment, I'll just call them and say, "Hey, I ain't coming." And they can usually tell when they get to work. They'll be like, "Yep, Don's gonna be calling. You ain't gonna drive over here in this shit. Your precious truck dirty." But no, get my precious truck smashed. Told them 100 times. I don't worry about my driving. I worry about all these idiots that think they can freaking drive.
That is so true. There is way too many of them.
They're running freaking 70, 80 miles an hour, and it's like, really? I'll be passing you at some point. And I feel so bad for them now. I don't even slow down. I just drive right on by. It's fucking
Yep.
There was a time when I'd actually care. So I gotta get my grumpy old man shirt so people will just read it and get the hint. Well, all this coronavirus crap is over. I'm gonna get one. I'm gonna walk backwards at the frickin' person at Walmart. Either that or when they ask me for my receipt, I'm gonna say, go around and read the back of my shirt and then see if you're gonna re-ask that question. The way the idiots are acting right now, you know, Brian was saying that oh my God, there's people that are coming in there and they've got it taped out to 6-foot intervals, and people will start complaining, and then they'll start mouthing off. So I'll just start coughing all over all of you.
I'm gonna call the police on you and all that good stuff.
Yeah, but they can't get the cops to go in there.
Yeah, I can't figure out why people just can't abide by the rule. It's there for your protection as much as the person that...
They don't care about the other people.
No.
They only care about themselves.
But they could get infected from some other person.
They're not bright enough to get that.
Yeah, makes no sense. Some of these people.
Well, what's going to end up happening is nobody's going to listen. Then Trump's going to have to do what he doesn't want to do, which is going to be force martial law in all states, because we got states like Nebraska. They ain't even got stay-at-home thing going. Golf courses are open. Everybody's out on them, and so they're going to force it. And, you know, he's going to be wrong for doing that. And the only places it's going to work is places like Walmart, because then you're going to have National Guard standing in there.
Yeah.
And they're going to be like, stay in that spot and shut up. And when they refuse, they're going to find out they just got an 86. Because Brian was saying that this lady come in with her friggin' daughter, and it's one person, and then they're throwing a fit.
Yeah, we've got that one person. Well, it's not a law, but it's most of the stores are asking, like the grocery stores now, to please leave your
It's
children.
not a law, but it's kind of a rule right now.
Yeah.
That anybody else with you stays in the car, you go alone.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sorry. Everybody's doing it. Just shut up and do it.
Mm-hmm.
But I had two ladies. I was at the dollar store. They both had the N91 masks on. And I was like, federal guidelines are you're not supposed to be wearing those. You're supposed to donate them. I don't give a shit. I'm not going to get this stuff. And I was like, well, here, let me take a picture of you so I can go down here to the hospital and give them your pictures. So when you show up in there, they know.
Yeah.
And then got up to the gas station when I was leaving town. And yeah, the lady in the gas station was having a fight with her about it and wouldn't sell her the cigarettes because of it. And the lady went out just pissed, bitch. I can't fucking do this. I'm calling the cops. I was like, yeah, do that. They can refuse service to anybody they want.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. It's not a guarantee that you can get served.
That's right. I went in. She's like, thank you for that. And I was like, hey, I'm just telling it like it is. It's like, you got somebody at home that has respiratory problems. She looked at me and she's like, damn, you've changed a lot since the last time I saw you. I looked at her and was like, that was over 20 freaking years ago.
Well, maybe you have changed.
Well, I have.
Years ago.
But to be all shocked by it, Jesus.
Yeah.
20 freaking years. She never works the station anymore. But they're kind of hitting some hard times now, too. They got employees that decided, fuck yeah, I'll collect the unemployment and just quit. It's like, I don't understand that whatsoever. Like, you have an employer that wants you to stay working for them, and you just decide that I'd rather quit than be around people.
Well, they have it up here that if you don't feel safe at the job you're at, you can go off for the 2 months or whatever.
Well, but the bad thing is they're forcing the employer to keep you.
Yeah.
When you made the option to walk away. That's where it's wrong.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah.
The only way the employer should, or they should be able to collect on that would be is if the employer has to let you go.
Yeah.
Her husband went and built a 2x4 deal with plexiglass up so they can't breathe on them. Wear gloves to handle the money. So what's the problem?
Yeah, in town here, they're requesting that you don't pay with money anymore. Use your card. So I haven't spent a cent in the last 3 weeks in cash because nobody will take it.
Yeah, I don't get that, being that you're already gloved up to handle anything that's got to be scanned.
Oh, well, it's their rule, so we abide by it.
That one's just somebody's going to the extreme. That shit right now, it's the getting breathed on is what's more dangerous.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah, they got them plexiglass screens here in the grocery store now.
You know, as long as you do the plexiglass screen and you're allowing your employees to glove up.
Yeah.
You know, it was these stores when it first came out that if you gloved up, you were fired. And
oh, geez. That's not the right.
well, and what the employer was claiming was, well, that's going to drive my business out the door because blah, blah, blah. And it's like, fuck you. Let the employees freaking protect themselves.
Yeah.
I wonder how long this train is. Friday, we had a 200 car train come through the first direction. Come through at the same amount, going back. Last night, 400 car train.
Holy crap, that's big.
Yeah. Trying to, UP is trying to limit how many people are out working.
Oh, okay.
So you only have a crew up in the lead engine.
Yeah, I think on our trains mostly just 3 guys, and they
Yeah.
all ride in the front end.
Because they have control over all the other engines from the control train. So
yeah,
because on a 400 you got 2 to 4 up front. Then after the first 100 you have 2 more engines. Next 100 you got 2 more engines.
oh yeah,
so on. And they're really only there for braking. You ain't gonna stop that sucker.
mm-hmm. Well, that's to give them enough air.
Give them enough air and have enough engines for the power brake.
Yeah.
Because without the generation on each engine, your brakes are going down.
Yeah, out here primarily she's pretty flat, not too much. So they run 150 cars, 150 cars. Sometimes they'll have an engine in the middle. It was usually just 2 on the front.
Yeah, they can have. I've seen 6 up front.
Oh yeah.
On a 100 car train. That's just they got more loads going the other direction than they got coming this direction. So they're bringing the other engines up.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't cost any more to pull them back than it does frickin' pull a load back.
Yeah. Your countryside fairly flat, or is it rolling?
Oh, hell, here it's up, down, all around.
Oh yeah. Well, they'll use a few horsepower going up and down hills too.
Being they going from up outside of town here, it is downhill all the way into Mankato. which is probably another 8 miles, but it's not a huge grade going down in, but you're going down into the river.
Oh, yeah.
And then they have to hump it back up, and then they come down a bit, down through here, and then they start going back up. Once they crest out about halfway to Medelia, then they're going back downhill again, and that's pretty level the rest of the way to St. James. It's just you're running out in the prairie, so it's up, down, all around. In the winter, they're up busting snowdrifts, and unless they get to the point where you might derail the train, yeah, they don't freaking plow. They got the half cow catchers up on the nose that does most of the plowing.
Yeah, most of the time here, our rails are set up so that you need to get a lot of snow to, because they build them like they build the roads, get the roads higher than the normal landscape around you, and that's the way they've done with the rails now too. So your normal ground drift never buries the track in.
Yeah, here you don't get that option because you could have rolls out in the field that are quite a ways back.
Yeah.
And that starts the drift.
Yeah.
And then a lot of spots, the tracks are up higher than the road. But now if you get a semi in the ditch, now the semi's stopping it and backing it back up.
Yeah.
So we've had the plow come out here a couple of times. They had to come out. They had to send one from both ends one year because the guy didn't slow down. He actually frickin' picked up too much speed and he hit the frickin' snowdrift and it took her up off the tracks. Got himself in a wee bit of trouble.
Yeah. We have no train right here anymore. They pulled the line out probably 20 years ago now.
Yeah, this is the main spur from Iowa City, I think is where it is.
Okay.
This runs up. This is UP's corridor up into Minneapolis.
Oh, yeah.
So everything they bring out, it's from Chicago to Iowa and then Iowa up into here and wherever else they're getting sent from there. And you'll get the coal trains from out in Wyoming. That's the one that's got everybody in uproar around here for the last 20 plus years.
Oh, yeah.
They just didn't get it. It was going to be going down a different line. Well, it was going to come in on DM&E, and then DM&E runs on UP's line from the edge of Mankato up through Mankato until they get out on their own lines. These people wanted them to run this corridor that was going to go up where we put a bypass highway in. Well, that was going to take all new rail. And the state of Minnesota wouldn't agree to that. And UP didn't want to do it. But they offered that we'll redo the corridor through town. We'll make it a no-whistle corridor. And they screwed with it so bad that UP didn't update it. And they told us, like, it's coming through here whether you like it or not because we own all the property. Yeah, they took them to court, and judge kept telling them, was like, This goes back to when it was originally put in. It's their land. We can't do anything about it.
Oh, yeah.
It's all grandfathered. But these people won't listen to anybody that you're not going to get anywhere. And they're like, we're going to beat them. Like, yeah, see, the IRS thought that once. And they found out you're not going to beat them. Because they wanted to tax the crap out of their retirement. Railroad's retirement was put in before they had any freaking taxes on retirement stuff. Can't be touched. That's why you hear people that, oh, there's railroad cuts. Oh, I don't want to work for the freaking railroad. It's like, God, are you stupid? It's the best freaking retirement plan out there. Nobody can beat it because it's not taxable.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, if I wouldn't have had little kids, I would have jumped at a job for working for the Union Pacific, because hell, they pay a lot, but with little kids, you gotta be home every Friday night.
Yeah.
Or in my case, every day, but oh, what time we got? Now I can take my freaking pill. And maybe the pain will go away. Yeah, tomorrow ought to be fun. It's Make Distributors Day. Now that I got everything cleaned up around here, so I can. So Pat, remember Tommy telling me you needed to change out the little finger prick thing when it starts to hurt?
Yeah.
Yeah, only got to change that out. Hey John, when she figures for me it probably should be one a week. And she's like, if it's starting to hurt, you're too damn deep. I told her, it's like, I changed it out and it hurt just as bad as the freaking dull one did.
The depth of the needle when you can adjust it.
Yeah, she told me to back it off. She's like, man, you must be harpooning damn near to the bone.
That's the way you like it, isn't it?
Not so much.
They should be working on the roads with all this shit going on. There's no traffic, you know.
They're working on the roads.
That's what happened to my cable, and these 50-year-old cement overpasses are dropping pieces on cars. You know, they're going to do it anyway, but they cut my fiber optics. I didn't have nothing for 10 hours.
Holy shit.
10 miles south of here.
Is that today?
No, it's Friday from 3 in the afternoon to 2 in the morning.
Oh, okay.
Prime time. No television, no cable.
They were working on the freaking highway here Friday.
And a flush toilet and an AM radio.
Well, you must have had lights.
Oh, yeah. I'd stare at a light all day.
Good time to get caught up on sleep.
Yeah, I did a little bit of that.
I did quite a bit of that today. Trying all day not to take the stupid pill that gets me to quit shaking. Trying to put those dash decals in, and I figured, okay, I came down here this morning shaking so bad, didn't want to take it. Heck with it, I'll go back to bed. So I got up, came down, still shaking that bad. So I decided, all right, well, I want to change this around and that around. So that turned into spring cleaning. But shaking will be gone when I'm done. Not.
Well, I don't know what the hell I did, but I slept till 11 o'clock this morning.
You work too hard.
Well, I didn't think so.
Well, you just got done telling us the other day that you got to quit working from home because you're working too many hours.
Well, yeah, but
Practice for retirement. Yeah, that's when you get up when you're retired.
yeah.
Stay up till like that. You stay up till a couple days from now.
What was that?
So I say staying up late. You stay up a couple days in a row.
It works. Sleep's overrated until you're shaking so bad that you can't do anything other than sleep. Take a pill that could put you into drooling everywhere. So yeah, now I'm kicking myself because when I was at Harbor Freight, they have a new wall mount for a TV. It does exactly what my big one does, but this monitor could go on it. And I was like, I could get that. Then I could mount the screen between benches, swing it to either side. Well, I talked myself out of it. Now I talked myself into moving the monitor because my shoulder hurts so bad. So now I'm going to end up going back and getting that at some point.
Yeah, that's what I got on the wall above my bench is a wall mount for my screen. So when I'm actually facing the bench, I can watch Hangout or movie or whatever.
Yeah, and I was using my small TV out here, but man, that thing I had to mount it up so high, it's killing my neck.
Yeah.
So when I got this computer, it was like, well, I can run just run everything on here. And I took my Roku back in the house, which was a good thing because that's out here. I'll get busy watching a freaking movie or something and I won't get nothing done.
Yeah.
And my chair doesn't recline nice and comfortable, so
Mine does.
then I end up hurting so bad that, so it's got to go back in the house.
Yeah, I can grab most of what I got on the Ruco. I can grab off the computer here. So.
Yeah, I could if I wanted to actually go through the crap to get the right apps on there. That's what's been keeping me not doing it is I've been lazy.
Oh, yeah.
Been running 100% lazy mode when it comes to putting apps on. And I got told to do live, you had to have an encoder. No, you don't.
No.
You might have with Google Hangouts, but you don't with this. So the encoder is going to be coming off my computer tomorrow.
No, shouldn't need nothing but the program that's on the computer.
Yeah, if I want to use it to like Paul does for editing his videos and stuff.
Oh yeah.
I could keep it on there for that. But I'm not going to do voiceover and all that crap. And I don't do videos.
Neither do I.
That's the purpose of having a live stream. I don't have to do the video. I can just talk on here and be like, okay, here's where we're at.
Yeah.
I just got to start scheduling the live stream so people know when we're going to have one.
Well, if they're on your Facebook, it should come up on their Facebook page.
Yeah, but there's a lot of guys that will watch more if they know you're going to do it.
Oh, I suppose.
A couple hours from them. This one was just, I decided I was going to do it when I got on, and I got yelled at by a person while I was typing it out, so I put no drama on the Hangout just in case they came into the Hangout.
Yeah, you don't need drama. That's for sure.
And I was trying to send a message to Brian, and I was trying to type one to Pat that said I was going to take his link down, put my link out, and I didn't know what frickin' ones got put out or not, and I screwed up the link, and just about made me want to say the heck with that. I was just going to shut everything down and go back to bed.
You take your temperature, you might have the CV.
Yeah, my temperature's up. Got nothing to do with CV. It's got to do with me coming in here today and deciding I was going to move that monitor, and Hurricane Don hit.
We're getting our temperature checked to work every morning now when we come in.
Running low or high?
Me, I'm running at just right on, I guess, because they didn't send me home.
Yeah,
my temperature's always a little low. For the longest time, was it 98.6 is supposed to be normal. Usually get like 98.4.
Oh, just feel like you're not running at 97 because they've always been wondering what's wrong with me. 97. Are you dying? It's like, I don't know. You're the one taking the vitals.
Well, ours is in metric, so
1.6 below normal on it. Done.
I run cold. So normally when I'm at 99, I got a temperature.
Well, I run at 36.5 Celsius. Is what mine's been the last few days.
Man, this blows. I can't work on the engine until I get the distributors turned tomorrow. You know, I looked at buying some today. Didn't have a problem with one guy's price. Questioned how good they are,
That looks pretty sharp there, Pat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I also wonder how long it's going to take to get them.
It's time to drop the body. Got to hit these windows. Windows have to be in place. The rear windows go down. See,
Oh, yeah.
can't
Yeah.
knock those off when we put the body on. Those can't be knocked off. Or you just throw it in there.
You know, I can't finish the truck because I decided the hood hinges are going to have to go on it.
Somehow. Oh yeah, I remember now. The front end has to. This is backwards. If you ever do a '57 Chevy, the front end goes on before the rear. At least the rebel anyway. Oh, so you lost a side window.
Are they just sitting on there?
Yeah.
On a pivot?
Yeah, the body keeps them on there.
Oh, okay.
There's a big long pin on the. I remember this model when I was a kid. The old, I got the other box from.
Well, that's scary that you can actually remember back when you were a kid. Wasn't that 100 years ago?
Late 60s.
Yeah, I have flashbacks every once in a while to when I was a kid, but other than that, I don't remember a lot.
That's what cost me so much. I had to buy all the models I had from memories, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that. Remember that. Remember this.
Yeah, see, I remember a lot more than I actually want to rebuy because I'm basically cherry picking on that list.
Let's see. I got it most of the way, but not there yet. Something's still not right. Front.
Okay, you hit me, and where did you go to?
All kinds of room.
Not over there.
So, was it ready to go on, Pat?
What's that?
Here we go. In us. Yep. Anything else can hit the floor right now?
There we go. This one's all the way down into the rear wheel.
Especially when it wasn't under there. At least not what it looked like. I don't know why I'm hanging on to this stupid box of airplane parts when the airplane's in Eagle Lake. Oh, maybe it's in the landfill. I did hear something about it. I heard I wasn't getting it back anyway. I think it had a major downing. Something to do with rubber bands, and it came sideways off the house or off the side of the bedroom door, and
Yeah, it probably didn't survive well.
well, I'm pretty sure my daughter didn't give it a chance to survive. She was a little ticked. Being it was the middle child that decided to find a way to make it fly, and it was the youngest child that took the plane. So, needless to say, war started. And all I heard was, well, Grandpa can fix it. And I heard a lot of screaming about it wasn't going back to Grandpa's, and I hung up and waited for the cooled down version to call back. I didn't even have guts to ask her yesterday if the plane was there so I could bring it back and see what I could do to it. Carson's been pushing her pretty hard lately, so I figured it's better I just tread lightly because I'll be the target. Because he acts just like you. You're like, so bad about that. You just got to learn to be able to scare him like I can. You know, when I'm over there, all I got to do is bark his name and I'm sorry.
He straightens out right away, does he?
Yep. Keep telling her he fears me. He don't fear you. It's like, so you're doing something wrong. He's like, learn to put some bass in your voice and not just threaten the frickin' spank and actually give him one. He's kind of an ornery little shit. Which I still say comes with the territory of being the middle child.
Yeah.
Being the oldest one likes to push his buttons, but Carson can kick the living crap out of him. So Will push and push. Carson will snap, and then will go crying to mommy and get Carson in trouble. Right up until I sat there watching one day when I was over there, and she come out and started yelling at Carson. I was like, wrong child. She's like, how do you figure? I was like, because Will's been pushing him for freaking 2 hours, and Carson just finally couldn't take it anymore.
Yeah.
She's trying to watch it a little better, and then little brother, he's figured out how to milk it because he's mommy's baby. And I've told her, like, you can't do that shit. Like, you'll just end up a Carson resenting you later.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So gotta start listening to Blake is pushing it. Say, hey, he's telling you to get out of his room and you won't get out of his room. What do you think's gonna happen to you? Yeah, my brother, that was a guarantee I could kick the crap out of him, as if I told him to get out of my room and he wouldn't. He thought he had some right to play that game at my mom and dad's because he couldn't do it at my grandma and grandpa's. If they heard me say, get out of my room, you heard my grandpa tell him, get out of his room. Yeah, unless it was raining, I hadn't touched the model all day unless there was nothing to do at the shop. I'd get done with dinner and I'd go help Grandma do the dishes, and if I didn't have homework to do, I was upstairs working on a model. Not sure how I could do that back then, though, because there's only one little lamp in that room, and man, my eyes must have been better back then.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure mine were, because now I got to use glasses and magnifying glasses and light. Lots of light.
Oh, she won't loosen up that way this time. Where the pads are this time. And to think everything I cleaned today, I got to go back over because I didn't get the shop vac out.
Just practice.
Well, I got to change the booth filter tomorrow. So. Got to have shop vac out for that. That's guaranteed to make a mess because she's caked. That's what happens when you turn on the paint booth and then you take your little blowgun and you blow it up, blow the filter clean out, and then paint another car. That one's had 3, 4, 5, 6 2K jobs through it already.
I'll seal them up.
What?
I'll seal them up.
Yeah. One of these days I'll get around taking pictures of some of them, but that means I gotta put that photo booth back together.
It's good to have a little more area on the filter.
What?
Those smaller booth filters, you know, it's. I can see why some of them guys are replacing them every couple of weeks. Or
No, it's the 2K.
yeah, but still,
If you don't blow the pre-filter out,
your booth is really small.
you just keep packing and packing and packing the crap on them. And Paul's, if I remember right,
It's not that big, so it plugs up quick.
yeah,
With all the 2K that he does.
you know, because man, he shoots more than I do.
I got a restriction gauge on mine. It's made for a furnace, you know. You just adjust it to 0 with a new filter, and it goes into the red, and then you play around with it a little more so you don't have to replace it yet. We'll let you know.
That's why I blow the pre-filter out as often as I can.
Yeah, vacuum it off.
But see, the screw up I did was I shot that surfacer in it that one day. You can't get that out of the frickin' pre-filter. That's some nasty shit. And it's thick. It's okay. I found out I still had one filter left.
Yeah, I use a furnace filter in mine, and then I stole some of this interfacing stuff the wife uses in her her quilting and that, and I put I have a metal or a plastic grill over top of my filter, and then I put this stuff on top of that, and so it catches like 95% of the actual paint.
Yeah.
And then just change it all the time, and then I don't have to change filter as often.
See, I buy a roll of that cheap blue crap that you put in your air conditioner.
Yeah.
And I use that as a pre-filter. That catches anything that's wet. Well,
I don't know what size.
By the time that thing gets as loaded as it is now, they don't weigh nothing when you cut it and put it in. It's going to be freaking heavy coming out of there tomorrow.
Yeah, I've got one out in I have a paint booth in the garage also. And I do my woodworking painting in that. So I use a furnace filter, and then I use that blue stuff.
Yep.
And yeah, I can paint about 2 or 3 cabinets, and then I gotta change it because it just gets plugged. It won't suck anymore through it.
Yeah. Right now, all my booth has is a bathroom exhaust fan. Well, I took the paint booth filter out already and put it in a bag and put it beside so I can put it back in later. And this thing is pulling. They ain't got crap for power, but it's pulling hard enough that it's trying to pull that blue one into the fan.
Yeah. I have a furnace, forced air furnace fan unit in my one out in garage.
I was gonna go to a forced air squirrel cage.
Yeah.
But then I lose my storage underneath the booth.
Yeah.
So I think what I'm going to do is buy a duct fan kicker.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to put it up in there and see if it'll up my pull some. Because I'm not trying to pull through an airbrush filter. I'm trying to pull through an actual body shop paint booth filter.
Yeah.
And it takes quite a bit because those things it's got its own pre-filter, but then when you get back to the actual filter, it's just thick shit.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to have a little more oomph because the 2K will get on the pre-filters and then she'll just quit pulling.
You got yours ducted to outside?
Yep.
Yeah.
I wouldn't shoot the 2K in here otherwise.
Well, I wouldn't shoot anything unless it's ducted outside anyways.
Well, once you filter, the acrylics are good. And that's all I shoot. Shoot acrylics and then I shoot the 2K over the top. Which there's so many people, it's like, you can't 2K over an acrylic. Do it all the time.
Why not?
It's like, pretty sure Martin Sr. still has their acrylic water line out there. think they called it waterborne or whatever. Oh, there's people that swear up and down you can't shoot solvent paints over Stynol res, auto air sealer. You know, when you go to auto air, there's the trick word for you. Auto. They didn't just choose that word.
No.
Anything that's in the auto air line is actually automotive paint. And the actual ones that say Creatix on them, it's all Creatix. It's one company. That originally was a textile paint. But it states right on the bottle that it will adhere to this surface, this surface, this surface. And if you make the updated change and put the additive in it that I put in it, it makes it bite harder and make the finish harder. There's a ton of people out there, they don't read directions.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot that don't.
You know, there's guys out there that think that, oh, you can just dump a little of this and a little of that. No, that's not how it works. States right down there that you got to put at least 10% of this or 15% of it. Well, it says it's airbrush paint, so it's airbrush ready. Read the stupid directions. Matter of fact, I have one right here, and it states operate at 40 to 50 psi with a 0.5 tip.
That's fairly lots of pressure.
Reduce with 5601, which I don't use. I use a different one. Transparent base for washable. And then for use on hard surfaces, plastic, vinyl, mixed with 40-30 balancing clear. And then 10 to 20% per volume. And then you can still reduce it with 15% of the regular reducer. And that's where people get in trouble, because they don't get that you use the additive to make it bite. It also makes it a lot harder finish. And if you use the right amount of 40-30, the whole you can't sand because it's an acrylic, it powders right up.
I know.
And I use the 40-30 and the 40-12 reducer in craft paint if that's the only way I can get the color I want. Oh. I really want to do this different, but that plan could bite me right square in the ass. the one that's in the paint booth. Now, there are certain guys I've tried to give them help. They won't listen, so I've gotten to the point where they'll start whining and I won't say a word, and then they'll ask me a question. I won't say a word. They'll push it, and then I'll be like, you didn't listen last time, so why would I tell you how to do it now? Because if you'd listened last time, you'd remember what I told you. Yeah, the reason I put no drama on that original one, Pat, it was the guy from Iowa that I gave my custom painting stuff to. He had already ticked me off for the day and supposedly was going to come into Hangout and just hang out. Evidently, I must have made the point that
It's not a bitch session.
read the rules before you come in the Hangout, or else. So you must have read the rules, seen no drama, and decided, okay.
It was from the dirt track cars, one of them guys.
No, the guy that I shifted all the motorcycle tins to, so I didn't have to do them anymore. He hasn't quite figured out yet that his customer base is still loyal to me. Ticks me off bad enough, they'll pay him a visit, and he won't like that visit. Not when you have the Mongols showing up at your shop, and they are flying their colors. And they're not there because they're picking something up or dropping it off. They're there to send you a message that, hey, we're loyal to Don. We had to have a little talk about a paint job that he did that I got to see the pictures of him. It's not acceptable work. So they're taking it to the other person I suggested and get it fixed. Told him, was like, tell me how you would have felt getting woke up this morning and getting asked to get online. So I fire up the laptop, and then I see these pictures. Man, I could teach a monkey how to have made it look better than that. If you would have taken a little time, it would have looked better than that. And he doesn't get, I'm the one that suggested him. Mainly because the guy needs freaking money. He's going through a nasty ass divorce. And the shop makes money, but she's taking, what is it, 25% of the shop pay for the last 10 years.
Yeah, that's a nice salary if it's a good business.
Yep. And the tanks and stuff, it's all on the side. It's all paid with cash. Can't prove a thing. The guys knew I didn't want to do it anymore because it was kicking my ass to do it. But when Rocky frickin' said, need you to look at this and tell me what you think, and I was embarrassed. And that's not what he was after. It was when I said I'm thoroughly embarrassed by it, and he's like, I wasn't after that. He's like, I wanted your opinion. I was like, don't pay him. He was like, still got stuff of your guys is in there? He's like, yeah. Like, I'll call and see if I can take care of it. And he was gonna come hang out to try to kiss up, I think, either that or he was gonna try to argue the point more. He'll get almost all freaking all day and night to get back to me. Wouldn't be a bit surprised some bitch wasn't drunk. Because I can never tell. Well, I told him, like, I'll let you know in a couple of weeks what I want you to do for future reference. Like, here's who you take it to get it fixed. Because I drew up the artwork for that one, so I don't know what was so damn difficult.
Hey guys, good morning, late night.
Hey, Frankie.
Hello.
Hey, what's up?
Not much.
So I didn't throw in the towel. I wound up filling all the gaps on this. Well, look at that nightmare, huh? Wow. You know?
Hey, at least you didn't give up on it.
Nah, I couldn't do that. You know, once I started, I got to finish it, you know?
Oh, there are guys that they would have 86'd it into the trash.
Nah, I can't do that, you know? First of all, the kit was too much money. I mean, the kit was almost $60, man, which was a ripoff. But you know, it was the only 1/48 scale I could find. So I said, you know what? When I opened it up, it looked pretty good. Detail was nice, but as I started putting it together, forget it. What a mess.
Well, like I said to you last night, every company's got a bad one out there.
Yep. Yeah, it figures. I pick it.
You just happen to get the one.
Yeah. That's like who does that look like that? Charlie Mack. he just picks. Sometimes he just gets the bad kits, bad fit, bad instructions. You know.
Yeah, some of the stuff he's getting. I mean, it was freaking put out in the 50s.
Yeah. He tends to build a lot of the older kits.
You know, he goes and gets a couple of those motorcycle kits, and he was doing the review on the one taken out of the box, and I could just see on the camera that, damn, dude, don't touch it. It's going to break.
Yeah.
And you blow on it, it looked like it was going to break.
Yeah.
So, and then he had some truck from, I don't know if it was from Czechoslovakia or Russia. And he was complaining about how the wheels all had, it was like a whole bunch of pieces. You had to stack them all. And certain order to get it to turn out right. And I'm like, dude, you brought it on yourself.
Yeah, sometimes with those kits, man, you know.
You need to watch somebody's video that somebody's already done that kit and find out, do I really want to spend the money on it?
Absolutely. You know, but you know, a lot of times, you know, kits are sometimes few and far between. You know, you see something there. Like, I mean, when he did that Vincent, there's really not too many kits for that Vincent. You know,
Right. Now, see, when he gets into the bikes, he's just plain fucked.
Yeah.
Because he wants to do the really old ones. I don't even think they're being repopped.
Plus, he's a perfectionist too. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, if he's going to build it, he's going to build it right and do it nice. You know.
Now, I never asked him on the one bike, was there any aftermarket for it? Because that could have cured a lot of his problems.
Yeah.
Somebody's made the aftermarket forks, and that can cure a lot of problems right there.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a couple of motorcycle kits, but haven't dabbed into those yet. I'm just going to leave those be.
I've never done one. I've never had the urge to buy one and do it.
Well, one of my first kits that I did build that was a motorcycle was years ago, and that was that Evil Iron kit. That was a trike. Well, nice kit, man. It really went together pretty good, with the exception of the fork because it was so damn long.
And if I was going to do a bike kit, it would have to be an RM 125 dirt bike, and you can't get those kits anyway.
Yeah. I forgot what kit I built years ago. It was a 1/16 scale pickup, and I think it had like 2 Suzuki dirt bikes in the back. It was an orange kit with like yellow decals on it. I think it was a GMC. That was a fun build, man. That was a really nice build, that kit. I really like that kit. I looked for it because I wanted to build it again. Yeah. Prices were astronomical. They wanted like $400 for the kit. I was like, what are you kidding me?
Now that dirt or bikes have been brought up, what scale was that Honda Monkey?
I never heard of that kit. The Honda Monkey kit?
110,
Okay, what's that?
110 or something.
Oh, yeah?
I found a 1/16 one, and I was wondering if that's the one you built.
Yeah, a lot of the bikes like what's it, 112? I think it is.
I thought the one you did was a 125th.
No, the one I built was it was part of a GMC kit that was a 1/16 pickup kit.
No, I meant Pat. I
Oh.
thought Monkey was a 125th.
I never built one.
Isn't that what you built that little mini bike was?
It was a Rep mini bike.
No. Well, I found a 1/16 scale Honda Monkey if you want to try to get it.
I got the Trail 70.
Okay.
Oh, that's a pretty cool kit, right? That's almost like a little mini bike, right?
Yeah,
So it's the Monkey, I think.
Gorilla and Monkey are stubbier.
I had Trail 70. That was my first little.
Throw it in the trunk of your car and pull it out and ride around the pits of the racetrack.
Yeah.
Trail 70 wouldn't fit so easy.
Yeah, my first, let's see. Well, after the mini bikes, my first bike was a little RM80, and then I picked up a 125.
Yeah, I went from the Trail 70 to the RM 125, and after I had a few issues with breaking the suspension, the RM 125 turned into a beast. It went from being a RM 125 to a RM 125 put into a 250 rear leaf.
You know what I did have that was really nice, and I got it in junior high school. Was the MB5s, the little Honda MB5s? It was it was classified as a moped, so you didn't need a driver's license to drive it. All you needed was a permit, but it had gears on it, which was great. So instead of riding a bicycle to school, I just jumped on my little MB5 and away I went.
Me and the boys used to ride the river out at their place, and
See, I love dirt bikes.
I tried to jump the river. Well, I shouldn't say I tried to jump the river. I jumped the river, but I impacted in a weird spot on the other side on the bank, and she hit so hard it broke the whole rear suspension on it. And I was gonna junk it. Then I went up to the parts place on the way up to Minneapolis. I stopped in there and they let me take the whole rear suspension out of a 250. And then we put that in underneath it. And then I didn't break the bike, I just broke me. Because I kept doing stupid shit, like trying to jump rivers. And
Well, that's what dirt bikes were for, man. They were for having fun, you know. I'd take a dirt bike any day over a street bike. I mean, I had my street bikes. You know, I had my Hondas, I had my Ninjas, I had my Harleys and everything else, man. But you know what? I really enjoy the dirt bikes. You know,
never got into dirt or street bikes.
Yeah, well, you know what? In high school, last year of high school, I picked myself up a 85 Softail. Bought that thing brand new out of the box, man. Great bike, loved it. It was just that there was too many idiots on the road, and great handling bike, man. It really was. So
My brother had the street bike. It's kind of funny. He got all cocky saying, "You'd never make it on my street bike out to the farm and back, blah, blah, blah." And I was like, yeah, let's go the other way around, because you'd never make it out there with mine. And my old man was following me because he knew damn well he wasn't going to make it much out of town. And yep, he dumped her 6 times because he couldn't understand the power band.
yeah. Well, if you're used to riding dirt bikes, you know what I mean. It's quite a bit of a difference with the brakes, you know.
Well, but the power bands on mine was set up to race. So when you come into the power band, she would fall to the frickin' walls. And then you had to learn how to feather the throttle.
Yeah.
And when you're friggin' jumping field approaches and driveways, well, you got to know how to run your brake in the air. Because that's what people don't get is your trajectory is all on whether you're going to gas it or drag the brake, which will, if you drag the brake, it'll bring your nose down.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to know how you're coming in.
So, yeah, I never had to get on his street bike and ride it anywhere. After that, my dad brought him back, and he's like, yeah, had to load it. And I was like, yeah, I see it sitting in the truck. How bad is it? He's like, I made him load it before he broke anything. And I was like, so, you want me to prove to you I can ride this out to the farm and back with no damn problem? Shut the fuck up, stay away from my bike. Walks in the house pouting. Like, oh, your turbo street bike. All I gotta do is stay nice and easy, and I ride it out the farm and back. I just ain't gonna like it.
A couple of years back, about, let's see, about 10 years back, you know. Had a little extra pocket money, so I figured, you know what? Let me go to the dealer, man. Maybe I can go pick myself a little dirt bike to tool around on, you know, and have some fun with. You know, so here I am walking into the dealer. You know, I had some money in my pocket. And I'm like, all right, great. You know what I mean? You know, I'll buy myself a nice little dirt bike. You know what I mean? Maybe I'll pick up myself a Yamaha. You know, so like a 250. You know, was when they were changing over from the 2-stroke to the 4-strokes.
Yep.
So I said, you know, let me pick myself up a 2-stroke Yamaha and be all done with it. You know what I mean? So I'm all walking in there, all happy and shit. You know, thinking like I got something. And then I'm like, oh, you know what? Let me take that 250, man. You know, I said, let me get the. I don't want the 4-stroke. Let me get the 2-stroke. You know, because they were limited on the 2-strokes. So he's like, all right. So then we start talking numbers, and I was like, wow, dude, that bike was almost $6,000, man.
Mm-hmm.
6,000. I'm like, whoa, really? I said, oh, no, just forget that. You know. I figured it, you know, I thought I had something now. I thought I was going to pay maybe $2,000 for it. You know what I mean?
Well, did you ask him what all it had?
Well, I don't care what it had. After I heard that $6,000 package, boy, I was like, nope.
Well, $6,000 may have made sense if it was set up to race.
You know, nice bike though, man. Nice bike, rode well. You know, but the price was just too much, man.
Yeah, because
you know, out the door was $6,000 by the time I paid taxes and all that other nonsense. Forget it.
my shocks were all air load. So we'd have to figure out what kind of riding I was going to do so I could set my air pressure all the time. Because we had a little racetrack out at their place. And hey, we were just going to run the track. No problem. I could set that up just like that. But if we were going trail riding, I had to make some adjustments.
Yeah. There was a place out here on Long Island we used to ride. It was an old paper factory. I don't know if you, I'm sure you guys saw it, but if you guys saw like the movie The Lords of Flatbush, when they went to the drive-in, that was a picture of the Green Acres Sunwise Drive-in, and behind there was a paper factory called Blum Paper Factory, and the guy used to let us ride on this property, and the cops used to bust our chops, you know. But the guy used to come out and say, nope. He goes, you know what? I'm giving him permission to ride here. And I want him to ride here. You know? And then the police would actually sit there and wait until, if they'd wait until you got off his land. And then if you rode in the street, they'd bust you.
Yep.
You know? So you had to wait, take the bike, you know what I mean? And then just walk it until you were out of sight and then you jumped on it. But, you know, we were teenagers then, you know, so we really didn't care. You know, they used to break our spark plugs all the time. Officer Rowan, all the time. Officer Rowan. He was what was this? 513. I think his car number was like 513. Officer Rowan, and he had like a little ball peen hammer. He'd take the boot off, break our spark plug, and that was it. You know. But after a while, we'd catch on, you know. We'd have extra spark plugs. One time, so funny. We were in grade school, me and my buddy Charlie, and we're whipping around on this mini bike. So Officer Rowe stopped us. He broke his spark plug. So like, oh shit, now we got to walk home, you know. So we walked the mini bike home. We put a new spark plug in it, and we start whipping around again. So we're whipping around by the junior high school. We make a left. We're whipping around making a left, and guess who we see again?
Yeah.
Yep. Lo and behold, there's Officer Rowan. You know?
They wouldn't have liked that with me because I would have showed up at City Hall and said, no, the damages.
Yeah, well, you know what? He yelled the hell out of us, boy. He really gave us an ass chewing. He gave us an ass chewing. He goes, next time I see you, he goes, I'm taking the mini bike.
You know, you can get away with that, but doing damage?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
can't.
we were the wise asses, you know? Because he's like, We're like, well, you didn't say nothing about it. You said today. You said you didn't want to see us on the mini bike today, but it's nighttime. It's evening. It's not today. It's night.
Yeah, you're kind of asking for it there.
But
What I would have done is been, all right, yeah, you wait till tomorrow.
well, we weren't even teenagers at that point. I mean, we were 12 years old. You know what I mean? We were 12 years old. You know, you'd find a mini bike. Someone was throwing that out in the garbage. You know, you'd put a new motor on it from from a tiller or something that you found out in the garbage that you got running. You know, a little 5 horsepower tiller. You know, good with the upright motor. You swap it out, put the clutch on, and that was it. We didn't buy nothing. We didn't have no cash. We didn't have no money back then. Everything we found, we built, took out of the garbage and built it.
Yeah, there's Officer Erickson. He was always after my ass. So I went out. I left town at probably 7 o'clock. The P-Viners were out, and it had been raining. These guys don't stop for nothing. They buried this son of a bitch. And then they chained another one on and another one on and buried them all. So I was parked out in front of the shop. I left with the wrecker. I come back. Here's a boot on my car. And I'm like, serious. So I called the old man. I was like, you need to come up here and look at this. When you come up, oh, we can take care of that. I was like, well, I just wanted to make sure you were here before I cut it off.
Yeah.
Took the torch off. I cut the boot off. Threw it in the back of the old man's truck. He drove out to the cop shop. Oh, he wasn't there, so he just threw it next to the door. And then I parked the car up where I usually did in the backyard. And the dog, he heard anybody step on that yard, he went nuts.
Really?
And the old man knew, so he walked out there, and here fuckers got goddamn All-American Towing. They're gonna frickin' tow my car and impound it. And the old man went, for what? And he's like, cut the goddamn boot off that car. Smart ass threw it in front of the cop shop. And the old man's like, I'm the one that cut the boot off the car and threw it there. Well, what the hell did you do that for? He was illegally parked. Like, yeah, he's illegally parked in front of our shop that, if I needed the car moved, I would have taken the keys off his toolbox, went out, started the car, moved it. So what it was we had no parking signs in front of the 2 bays where we had each wrecker parked. He's like, you're grasping at technicality. And he was like, fine, well, here's the ticket for him for parking there. And here's the bill for the boot. And my dad just gave me a look to shut the fuck up. So I didn't say anything. He's like, I guess you're coming to the city council meeting with me tomorrow night. And I was like, man, that's like torture. And he's like, it ain't gonna be torture. And he informed the city council, and they were like, looked at him, and that was the last day he worked in Lake Crystal. Because it had gone on for 2 years of him harassing my ass.
Oh, yeah? He's harassing you.
Yeah. That's the only reason he went there, is it was another angle to get me.
Well, you're such a badass, Don.
Well, I wasn't a good kid, but I wasn't that evil. It's just when I'm out working and you boot my car for parked in front of, 1, my employer, 2, the family business.
Yeah, he saw you coming.
Like, he was pissed the night I put that big ass engine in that car. It's 2 o'clock in the morning and I was tuning it. Granted, there was no exhaust on it. But he comes in and he starts harassing me and he's writing me a ticket for disturbing the peace, loud exhaust, didn't have the hood on the car. And my old man was just happened to stop up there to see if I was freaking done with it yet because he was pissed that I bought the motor. And he asked him, "What the hell are you doing in here?" And he's like, "Well, he's disturbing the peace, this, that, and the other." And my dad was like, "This is my business." He's like, "We fix cars here. It doesn't say that we have to fix them between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. He's like, and it doesn't have to have exhaust on it until it rolls out of here." And cop wanted to fight about that. And my dad was like, "You just don't get it. If you want to get him legally." And I shot my mouth off and said, "Well, that's hard to do when I don't do any of the shit I do somewhere else in this town." Granted, that pissed the old man off, and I got my ass reamed afterward for saying it. But it was true. I was smart enough not to shit in my own backyard. Go to a different town and do that shit. You didn't do it at home. So these young kids today, man, shit they do around here. And then they wonder why you get somebody like me pissed about them doing freaking 50 miles an hour down the street with a bunch of little kids in the neighborhood. And it's like, I told the neighbor kid when he did it, I was like, "Here's a suggestion for you, because next time I'm going to call the cops on you. Don't shit in your own backyard." He's like, "Wait a minute, go do it somewhere else." I was like, "Don't do it in your own neighborhood to begin with." I was like, "But being that your dad grew up here, don't do it in town." I was like,
Where now Frankie go?
Just vanished.
got dumped again.
Oh,
His internet seems to drop him every now and again. I'm surprised Uvalde ain't back in here yet.
You just cut mine in half. Dale, do you know how they repair that? Like when a fiber's cut, how do they line all the fibers back up? You know,
I think they have
special
a lot of
coupling.
work to do. Yeah.
Special coupling, but still, I bet it's no picnic. You can't just plug it in, you know.
No, no. I think, yeah, it's probably a hell of a chore.
Who knows what size too? Because it's not the local one going through the neighborhood. It's 10 miles south of here. It's probably a 8-inch fiber thing. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah, because you got to get each fiber connected to the right one.
Probably start with a super clean cut, and then some kind of jig holds it in alignment, and
Yeah, I would think so.
cross your fingers, and then you test it, and almost cut it again.
I'm wondering if they have, because there's got to be a junction area.
I think they got to go back from one junction to the other and replace the section.
No, they don't. They just but they probably have a metering system on it so that you can fire through to the right.
Yeah. And they know when they got it rotated just right to all the signals are coming through. Pulses or whatever.
Yeah, because they can send, I don't know how much different data transmissions on the same line now. They can do that with copper wire now. Send more than one signal across it.
And it was Friday afternoon at 3, and I started calling right away. And first, all circuits are busy. We can't even. Then when you get through, and then it would say that they're busy at the cable place, and try dialing again, and all cell communications are busy. And finally, later on, it's what I expect from my cable company. They usually know what's wrong and tell you something, and they actually said this road construction at I-75, 15 mile. And that's what I figured in that area. It's similar part of the freeway. They got to replace again this year because they did it last year and used the wrong cement.
That contractor's insurance company paid some money.
Sure is preventing a lot of traffic backups right now, though.
Yeah.
Actually,
Shut it all down.
their insurance company ain't gonna pay a dime. They take it out of pocket because that's on a bonded job.
Yeah.
So Minnesota, they went and had this whole new frickin' license thing set up, and it didn't work at all. So I started bringing it up and writing my representatives for the area and asking them, so why isn't this crap bonded? And they're like, what do you mean? I was like, all road construction, building construction done for the state of Minnesota is bonded. So, one, they didn't get it done in time. And then it wasn't working. So I was like, so now if it's late, they don't make as much money. And when it don't work at all, they lose money until they get it done right.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, so why aren't you making them bond it just like you do road construction and everything else? Now they're talking about redoing it again with the same frickin' company. It's like the eggheads couldn't get it right the first frickin' time. Now you're gonna let them do it again?
Has somebody got a relative in that?
Well, I'm figuring that's what it is. And eventually somebody in the public's going to find out that little inkling.
Yeah.
And then it's going to blow. Because, okay, so it screwed up the first time and you kept paying them and paying them and paying them for a product that never worked. And now we just got done paying them and paying them and paying them for the second product that doesn't work. It's like, that ain't freaking right. I work on your freaking car and it don't run. That means I did something wrong. Or I build a new engine and it won't start. Does that mean, oh, now I get to charge you this much more for whatever I fucked up?
Yeah.
How long are you going to be open? Just stupid how government does stuff.
Yeah, goes back to the $15,000 toilet seat and the $12,000 hammer.
Yeah. And they got caught on that. And things got ugly. But they keep doing it.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I think, like any of that kind of shit, they need to bring in, say, somebody that's disabled that has no skin in the game, and to look through that stuff and be like, really? We're wasting money on this? You guys just spent $15,000 on this part for a freaking spaceship that I have at home in my toolbox and could give you.
Mm-hmm. A lot of that shit goes on.
Yeah, to me, that's what should be the oversight. When they keep talking about that Congress has oversight over the president, how about we get somebody that's not a politician that's going to do the oversight? Because then they got to answer to it also. Find out that, okay, yeah, we got non-politicians that they're taking it seriously, and really, this little trip you took shouldn't have cost anywhere close to that. Now, I wonder where I want to run the battery cables out of that box. If I should go high, if I should go low. I think, just for giggles, we're going to go high.
Oh, back in action. Yeah, for some reason.
Now I got back in.
Yeah, whenever I try to switch to something else, sometimes I just lose my connection, you know?
Well, I thought maybe you were hitting the wrong button.
No.
See,
Well,
'cause I have that problem on a regular basis where I'll decide I'm going to open up a different page, and I didn't get out of this one.
Yeah.
So then I go crashing, and sometimes you can hear me cussing when I come back in even.
Yeah, I had to do, I opened up a new tab, went into YouTube Studio. I still had the split screen. And then I went into YouTube Studio, and then all of a sudden it was like, that was it. I lost it, you know, even on the new tab and a new page. So.
Yeah, I'm good for pushing the wrong buttons and kicking out.
Yeah, I'm guilty of it all the time. I think Pat's starting to find it funny. Either that or he's betting people on it and he's making money.
Well, that could be.
So many times he'll do it tonight.
You know what? Considering I just got my laptop about a year ago, I was doing everything on the phone, so at least I'm progressing. Last year I didn't even know how to work a laptop. You know what I mean? So I had no need for one. You know,
Phones can do it all, and they do it so much quicker. They just limit it in the size and the sound type thing. But it's just amazing. I can do like 10 different things in a couple minutes on the phone. It would take a lot longer on the desktop.
Yeah, exactly. Same thing with me. I was always using the iPhone for my videos and everything else, and it was much easier to edit and everything else.
Once me and Frankie got Yuval to get on his phone or go to his phone and not the laptop, things were great last night. Because when he was on his laptop, oh my God, there was so much static in the line.
Yeah.
Once he switched downtown.
Yeah. Yeah, he probably had a bad microphone.
That's what I'm thinking.
You know,
it took me about 45 minutes of talking with him last night because we talked about some stuff because he was a little shaky on, God, is this Don or is this somebody else? So once I got him mellowed out, then he was okay going to the phone.
Oh, yeah.
He just didn't want to put himself out there. He's got PTSD and stuff, so.
Yeah, he has on his microphone. It sounded like he had a ground issue with it, or his polarity was reversed or something on that whatever he was using.
He's got a few lingering effects from the war and stuff, so.
Yeah.
Can't blame them there. They're forced into it.
Yeah.
And he had to do some ugly shit. But part of the world they're in, they're always going to be trying to wipe them out.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you know what? It's a whole different ballgame over there, man. When I was in the Middle East, forget it.
Yeah,
they want you dead.
Well,
you are the infidel, and they want you dead.
Right, and they want the Jews eradicated.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
They don't want to have them move somewhere else. They want to eradicate them.
Yeah, it's a shame, man. Shame.
Hell, when you look at technically of all of our allies, Israel's actually the best ally we've had.
Oh yeah,
because Britain can even shaft us at times.
I tell you, Israel's military, man. They're no joke, man. They are no joke, man. No joke whatsoever, man. I mean, they got an Air Force, dude. They got a hell of an Air Force, man.
They're the ones that have found out stuff that you could use our jets for that we weren't even sure that if they could actually do it.
Yeah. And they got some damn good pilots, man. Damn good pilots.
Well, they got to train serious because everybody around them is against them.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. You know what? They're always on high alert, regardless. There's no relaxing there, man. Always on high alert. Everything could be a drop of a dime, man.
Mm-hmm. And you don't know who it's going to be.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because they're surrounded, man.
You know, Iran's going to go after them. And you know, Syria's going to go after them. And you never know when the Egyptians are going to turn on them.
When I was over in when I was working for Grumman Aerospace at the time, we were doing we had a problem with Iran at that time, and they wanted me to go over there to the Iraqi E2C Hawkeye. Not the E2Cs. They were doing the F-14s. They were supplying with F-14s. And I was like, no way in hell, man. Am I going over there? And this was back in the 80s. I mean, they had such strict laws, man. You know what I mean? I'd get off that base. I'd be on that base. They'd kill me out there. You know? Because at that time, I wasn't even in the military. I was just a regular civilian.
Yep.
I didn't go into the military at that time. But they wanted us to go there to train their mechanics. You know, on the F-14s, on the mechanical systems and the electrical systems, you know. And it was basic nonsense. It was basically swapping stuff out and just going over the basics, you know. Because when we gave them the F-14s, they weren't fully loaded like ours were, you know. Yeah, it was an F-14 aircraft, but it didn't have half the bells and whistles that ours had.
They make a lot of modifications to their stuff.
Yeah. I mean, even our F-14s. Let's see, the last when I was there, the last revision we did on the F-14s was the F-14D. With the last revision we did that I did personally that I worked on. And I think the E2Cs I was working on at that time, I think that's when we sold E2C Hawkeyes to Japan. So I think that was like the Japan contract I was working on in 84, 85 actually. And that was it. Then Northrop Grumman closed shop here on Long Island. And then they moved manufacturing operations to either Stewart, Florida or Galveston, Texas. I was a young kid, man. I was like 20-something years old. 20. I didn't even hit 20 yet. I don't think I was even 21 yet. I'm like, nah, I don't want to go down there, you know. I should have went down there. But then I said, screw it. Let me go into the service. So then I went to the Navy. But since I worked there, it was good because I went in at an E3 pay rate. And I didn't even start boot camp yet, you know. So I had a nice little jump on it, and then I went in for I went into gas turbine systems with electrical because I had my in high school I went to something out here called BOCES, and with BOCES when I graduated high school it was a 3-year program, and then I doubled up at night school. So when I left high school, I had I passed my A&P test, so I had an airframe and power plant license right out of high school because I went to night school also. But and then the airline industry dropped out. You know what I mean? Yeah. That was just about the time when Pan Am went tits up and the airline industry was done. So I'm like, well, you know what? My A&P is worthless now. When Grumman Aerospace is down in the hopper, I had no other choice. You know?
Yeah, he was talking last night about, like, I can't believe the U.S. sold Iran these jets, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, dude, we were going against Iraq at the time. I was like,
yeah, we did it both. First we supplied aircraft to Iraq, and then we supplied it to Iran. Let me see if I got it. I even got the. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, this is the.
Well, the funny part was all we had to do was quit giving them parts. They were useless.
Yeah. Yeah, because this was the. Yeah, this was the. Yeah, because this was one of the projects too, for the Iranians.
Mm-hmm.
Then we were backing the Iranians. Every project you got a patch for, you know. Incredible. Supporting Iraq, then they turn around a couple years later, then they're supporting Iran. It's crazy.
I told him, like, you know, it was really easy to do it, and then we just quit selling them parts, and those jets were useless.
Yeah.
Which is out in the desert. Man, they got to be freaking maintained like some bitch. And they ain't got parts, they don't fly.
Yeah, well, that's what happened with the with a lot of the aircraft. They couldn't get the couldn't get the parts, and that was the end of it. You know, there's only so much stuff you can machine.
You know, just that was it. Phantoms, and at the time, Phantom was the hot ship, and it's like, yeah, then you guys got the F-16. I was like, and that is still, you know, yeah, the 22 and the 35 are better, but you can still do things with an F-16 that you can't do with them.
Yeah. Well,
Besides, if we hadn't sold those guys jets and had control over the parts flow, we would have bought them from Russia. And they'd have everything they ever needed for those jets.
Yeah, but at that time, man, the F-14 was the aircraft. You know what I mean? I mean, it couldn't. I mean, there was no comparison to the MiGs at that time, man. You know what I mean?
When they did their run on the power plant, that was all done with the F-16. They literally had to fly in, not knowing if they had enough fuel to get back home.
Yeah. What happened was when they got more towards specialty aircraft at that point in time. You know, every aircraft had a special purpose. You know what I mean? The F-14s was basically an all around. You know, for the most part. But it was at that time. You know, it was starting to get outdated.
Still one of the more nicer looking jets that ever was built.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I had to fly one, I'd want to be on the F-15. Much better ordnance, and 2 miles out, that sucker is dead.
You know, all the aircraft I worked on, and built, they're all retired except the E-2C. Really, I mean I worked on the E-2C, the EA-6B, the A-6.
Well, hell, the A-6, that was.
Yeah, well, I caught the tail end. I caught the tail end of the A-6 with the manufacturing on that and the rework on that.
And no matter how those frickin' other idiots in Washington want to think, the A-10 is not going to come out of service for at least another 40 years.
Well, that A-10 that's a hell of an aircraft, man. That A-10 was a hell of an aircraft, man.
The pilots don't want to give them up.
No.
Ground crews, that you're the one out there fighting, and when you call and want it, there's a reason why you're calling for it and not a chopper.
Well, you know what? That A-10 can have their flight surfaces could be so damaged that that aircraft is making it back, even with all that damage to the flight surface, to the wings, the aileron. It doesn't matter.
They had one come home without a wing.
Yeah. I mean, they come back. They come back slow, looking like Swiss cheese. But you know what? That's what they were used for. Man, they were used for to get down at those lower elevations. And that was a mean ass plane, man.
That was made to be a tank killer, and then they found out it could do lots of other stuff.
Yeah, very versatile.
And it's still the best tank killer we got. That's why everybody, when they said they were going to retire it, and they were going to use the F-35, and it's like, the F-35 isn't going to do what it can do. Because one, all our enemies know what the A-10 sounds like coming in.
Yeah.
Right there, they start running for their lives.
See, I don't know. I know the A-10 I believe the A-10 had a heavier payload too.
Yeah, she can carry a ton. So her time up is a lot better. The guys on the ground don't ever want to see it go because that's their pretty much guarantee of getting out of the shit.
Yeah.
But that was a political thing.
Always is. Always is.
It wasn't the cost of keeping her in service. It was somebody was going to make money that had a ton of stocks bought in the F-35 program.
Yep.
And see, there's my thing. If you're in, whether you're a senator or a congressman, you should not be allowed to buy any stocks whatsoever while you're there.
I agree 100%.
Because you have inside information.
Yeah. Well, you have inside. You definitely have the inside information, but however, the way the laws are written, there's nothing to. There's nothing there. There's nothing in the law books to forbid it. You know, I mean, look at the nonsense that just went on in reference with the COVID. You know what I mean? You had those senators dropping stock like mad dog.
Yeah.
You know.
I want to see if they're going to frickin' pop Dianne Feinstein for what.
Well, you know what? They should. You know why? You know what?
Because she's the old.
You had Martha Stewart that went to jail.
Yep.
Over a $70,000 transaction. A $70,000 transaction. These people did it for millions of dollars. You know? Nah, I don't go for that, man. They got to change that. But you know what? It will never be changed because they're not going to. They're not going to screw themselves.
No, they're too busy screwing everybody else.
Yep.
Really don't.
Yeah, there's no time. They don't have any time to screw themselves. They're too busy screwing you and me.
That's right.
They don't really have to change any laws. Use the laws in existence right now. Because what Dianne Feinstein did, she made a little chat to her husband, and her husband made the deals.
Yeah, but you know what? They all do that. I mean, look at
but see here
the nonsense that went on with Pelosi, with the rider and the stipulation for the last bill to get passed.
Right.
For the for library. You know what I mean? That was nonsense.
They have 2 Republicans and 2 Democrats. I don't give a shit which party they belong to. You put them out there, you frickin' spank them as hard as possible, which means old lady Feinstein out. The rest of them out.
You know, I just don't like that they're making decisions based on their vested interests.
And
you know, I don't go for that, man.
You know, the biggest reason I think there should be term limits. Because Feinstein's been in there almost as long as I've been alive.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's got to be term limits, but it can't turn over too fast. You know, it's got to be term limits because it can't turn out too fast because then, you know, then you'll get these
right.
Then you'll get these idiots in there like what's her name, AOC, and the other one, Omar. You know what I mean? Come on. You know,
Feinstein's been in there forever.
Yeah.
You need to make, you know, president, I think, needs to change from 4 years to 8 years. Because you come in there 4 years to turn something around.
It's not happening.
It needs to be an automatic 8-year term, and you can only serve 2 terms. So 16 years. Now, you get in the senators, I think it should be the same thing.
Yeah.
But, hey, you're either going to get your job done and you're going to do it, or you're going to go down as a friggin' moron.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, you know, the thing that gets me is that vested interest. I mean, that really gets me, you know. And the last thing that really got me was with that last bill that got passed.
Yeah.
Especially for the Theater of the Arts in Washington. Guess whose daughter sat on the board for that?
Uh-huh.
Pelosi's daughter was on the board.
Yeah.
And did you know After they got that, it was a $1 million donation that the next day that they made to the DNC.
Okay. That's
And
what's going on.
and the other one that was approved for $25 million, they made a $5 million contribution the next day. I mean, that's insanity. Now,
Well,
I don't care whose party it goes to. It doesn't matter what party you belong to.
look at Uranium One.
You hold up that much funds, and then they turn around and make a decision with that, and then somebody's daughter is sitting on the board. Oh, no, that's wrong.
Look at Uranium One.
Oh, yeah, don't even get me started with that.
25% of all of our uranium to Russia. And then Russia turned around and made a buku $1 billion frickin' installment to the Clinton Foundation.
Of course, pay to play, man.
Hillary Clinton was the only one that needed to sign off on that deal, and she did it. Now, selling it to Russia right there is treason.
Yep.
And they're not even Trump's pushing to go after her on that.
Nope. See, I don't favor any political party. You know, I go by what the issues are, what's going on at the time in the moment, and then unfortunately, it hasn't been looking good lately for the Democratic Party, man, because they went so far left that it's just completely it's irrational. I mean, you know what? I'm a layman. I'm a working man. You know what I mean? And some of these decisions that they're making, they're supposed to be educated and in political office. They're not doing that. They're looking out for their own vested interest. Now, if you or me or anybody else did that, we'd be sitting with a pair of silver bracelets on us, sitting in jail.
Oh, yeah. You know, look at that kid that he took a frickin' picture on the sub.
Yeah.
He's sitting in frickin' Leavenworth.
Yeah. Well, that was they made an example of his ass, you know. But also, you know what?
Now you turn around and Hillary Clinton's server, it's the same crime.
Oh no, well, it's even worse.
So
that's even worse because you're talking about destroying evidence.
You know, so she broke the frickin' law and nothing happened because she's Hillary fucking Clinton.
Well, you know what? It was because number one, she had the financial backing, and it was basically the depth of the deep state.
And the one that everybody's pushing for is how much did Obama know about it?
He knew everything.
Did he know it?
And he knew everything.
They won't fricking go after it.
He knew everything. Yeah, well, I don't even let me get me started with Obama because you know what? Oh, man.
Well, two of my friends retired from service because of him.
Oh, yeah? I don't blame him.
Because when he got reelected, after that first apologize for our military and this, that, and the other.
Yeah, we no apologizing.
He was like, fuck it. He's like, I put in my freaking papers.
Sadly, he did so much damage. It was insane. I mean, what person in their right mind who was going to give a decision to give the Iranians nuclear power? What do you think they were going to do with it? You didn't think they were going to start turning around and producing weapons grade material?
Okay, and who the hell would give them that kind of money?
Well, they did.
But all of them are like, oh, we need to get back into the nuclear thing and blah, blah,
Well,
blah.
yeah. Well, you know what? They had the idea of getting, and it was so far up, everybody's behind because I don't want to curse. It was a globalization. Let's globalize. Yeah. Everybody's equal. Let's spread the wealth. Yeah. They globalized, and look what happened. 98% of our pharmaceuticals, which right now with today's conditions, are manufactured in China.
Yeah, that was NAFTA.
Then what did Obama do? Oh yes, China will stand behind it. China is one war machine. They're one of the oldest civilizations on the planet. They're going to survive, man. They're going to kill whoever the hell they want. We don't give a shit about you. And then they're sitting there, oh yeah, China will help us. And what was the first thing China said? They turned around and said, you know what? We're not going to give you medications if you keep it up. Oh, really? You remember that? You remember that nonsense? But you know what? Yeah. According to the DNC, China's our friend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, China's our friend. Yeah, China's our friend. The other idiots there that are running for office. China's not a threat. Yeah, China's not a threat because he gave your son a couple $1 billion deal. Who you kidding? You know, the president we have now, you know what? He's been a good president. Trump's been a good president. He's made some good decisions. Yes, he's a little rash. Some of the stuff he says, you just cringe about it, and you know he's going to catch hell about it. But
See, I personally don't like the man.
I can't stand the man. But he's a damn good fucking president. I'll tell you that.
He did something for me that hadn't been done. I never got a raise, a cost of living raise, since I've been on disability until he took office.
Yeah. And when was the last time you saw something before that? 10 years ago? 12 years ago?
You know, so I can't go against the guy now.
No. I would, I don't like what he did with the tax plan in reference to deductions for real estate taxes and all that other nonsense. I think that was a horrible deal. But you know what? I think they're going to change that, especially the way the economy's going. But as far as foreign affairs, I agree with his policy.
He's also brought our economy up, but not now, of course. But
well, not now. But you know what? Considering everything that's done, I think the last time I checked, the market was about 22, and it was down 21, 22, somewhere around that ballpark, and it was up at 27. So
it's going to keep crashing.
Eventually, the market had to adjust itself, so the market's adjusting itself.
The way this is going, we're not going to have a freaking economy by the time it's over.
Nah, I think once it gets back into action, and right after the election, that's when you're going to see a kick.
Oh,
the big boys with the hedge funds. From the minute Trump got in office, they were hedging against him. They were hedging for a bad market. And they've been losing money for the past 3 years because the market's been up. So when they hedge themselves to a bad market, they're losing money. So when the market started to tank, all the big boys with the hedge funds started pulling the money out. It's not a matter of you, me, or anybody else pulling money and screwing with the markets. I mean, we can't do that. But the thing is, when the big boys start pulling out and they start doing it for political purposes, that's when you got to watch out, because by the time someone looks at their annuity fund or looks at the money they put in there, all of a sudden, well, you know what? Now they have no money, so they're trying to save every nickel they can get.
We'll let you know right now. This ain't going to be over in a couple of months. It's going to be 6 months at minimum.
2 years.
Time. By the time this is over, we're going to be in the new Great Depression.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think after the election, after November, politically, it's going to be streamed out till at least November. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
There's going to be no election.
Yeah, nah.
Seriously, we're not going to be out of this. COVID-19 will not be eradicated before at least 6 months.
Yeah, maybe
it won't be eradicated until we actually get an actual working virus or vaccine.
Well, yeah. And hopefully what Mayo Clinic is running their trial on, they'll be able to start saving more people, because they're starting a trial they're taking plasma from the people who have beat it, and they're going to start running it into people that have it.
Yeah, because they already have the antibodies.
They're going to see if it will frickin' pop them back without this thing killing them. So then we have defense, but we're still not going to, there isn't going to be a working frickin' antidote to this in at least 6 months. Everything that Trump's been saying about I want the economy back by this, by that, he's not saying we're going back to work by this date. He wants it to go back by this date. He's just trying to give hope.
Yeah. Well, it's got to go.
And
It's got to. I mean, he's going to have to get
these
the
idiots
country.
fighting them because we got parts of the country that haven't shut down.
Oh, yeah.
And he's going to end up having to do what he doesn't want to do, which is, okay, this governor and these governors, they ain't going to listen, so we're going to have to go martial law. And that's where they're going to really come after him is, oh, see, now he's trying to take over the country.
See, I don't think he's going to take that approach. I think what he's going to do is, as it comes in waves, New York, the East Coast is hit hard. So it's going to work its way. It's going to work its way out. It's going to work its way into the Midwest, and then out from the coast, it's going to work its way in. So as the East Coast is getting out of it until the fall, I mean, the East Coast will get up and running again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Already coming hard out here now.
Oh, yeah. But the thing is, you know what? The projected models, even for New York, the projections were actually less than exactly what's going on.
Well, got news for you. They said that fucking summer heat was going to fucking be one that eradicated this. Why is it going batshit crazy out in the freaking desert right now?
Yep.
All their projected models were based on what they thought this thing was, and that it only went after the old and infants. Now it's 20 years old to 49.
Yeah. Well, when I heard that nonsense that it was only going after the old people, and it wasn't affecting the younger people, I mean, that's a total bunch of bullshit.
No, it wasn't until it got here.
Yeah, but it was. That was bullshit because you know what? A respiratory system is a respiratory system. No matter how you look at it, it doesn't matter how old you are, you're going to be breathing. And the only reason it was affecting the older people more was because their immune systems weren't as strong. You know, I mean, you had it came to the point that you had situations where you had teenagers that were doing it, that were dying. Then men that were 38, 40 years old that were dying. Then you had infants. It's a shame.
All of our scientists have gone off the data from everywhere else. Now they're finding out once it got here, it's morphed into something else.
Yeah. Well, the problem was the data that we were getting was half-assed. China gave us the wrong data. They lied to us. They told us that it wasn't spread from person to person through the respiratory system. You know what I mean? That was bullshit from the get-go. I mean, they kept it so far buried. Man, when they did the satellite shots, they were basically, they knew something was going on because due to the satellite shots, they knew that there was less people on the street over in China and Wuhan. And then in December, they started firing up incinerators, and there's shots of there's shots over China that they were burning the bodies. There was so much ash in the air, and you could see the ash in the air from the satellite photos. So they were burning bodies way before they even fucking mentioned it to what the hell was going on. This
was going on in July.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, the satellite photos that I saw were from January.
Claim that this popped up in November. It was going on in June and July.
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
And they basically killed that doctor that.
Oh yeah.
And tried to warn the world.
Yeah, she's missing.
He got it, and he died from it.
Yeah.
Now, the idiots here in their infinite wisdom, they freaking fired that goddamn, the captain of that freaking ship, his crew, pissed about it because he was doing what he thought he had to get help for his guys.
Yeah, but you know what? I don't agree what actions he took because number one, he was the captain of an aircraft carrier in the middle of a pandemic. Why the hell would you let your crew go out on leave in the middle of Vietnam in a pandemic? Bad decision. Bad decision. You know how many lives were at risk? I mean, us idiots here in New York knew that it was a pandemic. Now, this is a captain of an aircraft carrier, a nuclear-powered aircraft carrier with a full-blown crew and everything else, and this dumbass lets
Right.
I wouldn't let my kid
got fired.
I wouldn't let my kid go to the park. Nevertheless, fucking have my kid go to fucking Vietnam in a fucking plane. You know what I mean? But they just, you know, they let people off and go on leave in the middle of Vietnam. You know, the fucking guy was an idiot. And you know what?
That ain't why he got fired. Why he got fired was because he couldn't get any fucking help. So he went to the press to get help. And they canned his ass. And that's wrong.
Unfortunately, the way our military is structured, the way it is, you go through the chain of command.
You
don't carbon copy. You don't CC people that are below you. And if that's the case, you're a captain. You're a captain of an aircraft carrier. All you need to do is call in right up to your chain of command, and they'll take care of it.
He did. He got ignored.
Well,
starting to bury all that, and the guy who fired him was the hardest thing I've ever had to do. Fuck you.
I would have fired his ass. Yeah, because when I was working on the job, when I was working on high rise, I mean that's like letting your crew go to the bar, come back shit faced, and fucking let them work. You know what I mean? Dude, you're jeopardizing my life. You're jeopardizing everybody else's life on this whole crew. You know what I mean? I would fire the captain. Now his men on the ship, they're gonna back him up 100% because that's their captain. Just out of respect.
Oh, I got news for you. They just fucking killed morale, and they got a fucking disease running ape shit all over that boat.
Mm-hmm.
Now the morale's down. People are gonna die.
Oh, now it is, yeah. Because when the situation went down, it was the first situation when it was before it broke out on the boat. There was limited cases. So don't forget.
Oh, but now you took morale down also.
Oh, you took morale down. You sure did. Because now everybody's getting sick. You know, a plane of an aircraft carrier is not like a building, man. You know what I mean?
Okay, you're missing where I'm going with this.
You know, you got
command,
the filtration systems and everything else, and that's why what really got my goat was when everybody was complaining that the two hospital boats that they should have been opened up to COVID. You know what I mean? Like here on the East Coast, you know what? They had plenty. They had plenty of hospitals. They had the Jacob Javits Center. They had 5 separate hospitals and universities here on Long Island. They had plenty of beds. There was no reason whatsoever to contaminate that ship.
That's what they were brought in there for.
What's that?
Those ships were brought in for COVID patients.
Nah. Those ships were brought in to alleviate the hospitals. There was going to be no COVID people on that ship. The only people that were supposed to be on that ship were the idiots that crashed their motorcycles, car accidents, broke a hip.
Like everything else, by accident, they started taking some in and testing them, and then they had to put them aside, so it's on the ship now.
Yeah, and that once those ships get contaminated, man, forget it. I mean, perfect example is the cruise ships. And you know what? You know, those carriers and those boats aren't exactly the yes, they're clean, but you know what? To sanitize them, forget it, man. The nooks and crannies and everything in that, forget it. Forget it. Between the moisture and everything else.
Air systems.
Yeah, the air systems, the air filtration systems. I mean, you know, forget it. That ship, when that ship's done, they're actually gonna probably have to tarp that whole ship. They're gonna tarp that whole ship, and they'll have to fucking they'll have to decontaminate that whole ship with tarps. So either they'll have to put in something like methyl bromide or
No,
something.
they got this new stuff. That's what they'll do it with. So now they're going through and they decant. This stuff is supposed to be able to stay on the surface for 2 to 3 months. Same shit that they're using that Coast airbrush that they're setting up to pack it and sell it. We can go in and spray a total office room down and
Yeah.
it's good to go.
You know, I really feel bad for the medical workers because they're basically getting thrown into it, and that's it. They're not telling everybody what the hell's going on. Same nonsense they did here on 9/11, where the DEC and the EPA came out and said, "Oh yeah, there's no contaminants in the air." Are you kidding me? There's no contaminants in the air. You just had forget it. You know how much Freon? You know how much Freon were on the floors? Forget it. It was insane.
The hospital workers know what they're getting into.
Yeah.
Everything is out there. Problem they're having in New York, you got fucking hospitals that don't have any freaking patients and they're hoarding shit.
Well, that's what they're doing. The hospitals, they aren't, the material is not even making it to the hospitals. I mean, fucking, Cuomo sitting there crying that, oh, we're not getting nothing. But meanwhile, they were getting shipments to the warehouses that were in Edison, New Jersey. He didn't even know what the hell he had until the National Guard went in there, confiscated pretty much everything, and then said, that's it, no more. We're doing the logistics. No more. No, New York is not doing the logistics. The National Guard is going to be doing the deliveries for the logistics. And that's what they did.
They're supposed to be going into these other hospitals and taking shit too.
Yeah, well, that's a cute word. Yeah, that's cute too. What's his name? He gets on there and says, we're not, I don't like that word confiscating. We're taking it. Well, dude, what's the difference? There's no difference. You're confiscating it. No matter how you take it apart, you're confiscating it.
Well, no, the military is supposed to be going to go do this because there's one hospital that Trump brought up. They normally went through 30,000 boxes of gloves, and all of a sudden they jumped it to 100,000.
Yeah.
And
that's why the National Guard is taking care of the logistics.
You don't have the patience, but now all of a sudden you're going to start hoarding shit.
Yeah. Yeah, but you know what? He was talking about private practices and private hospitals. Now, out here on the Long Island of Manhattan, hospitals around here are just basically if you're getting sick and if you're injured. Everything else is nursing homes, private hospitals are set up. A lot of the surgeons around here, you don't go. Let's say, for example, when I had my knee surgeries, I didn't go to a hospital. I did go to a private hospital, but that private hospital was set up with all operating rooms. So, you got a guy that, let's say an orthopedic surgeon. Orthopedic surgeon goes in, he buys part in the building, and they're calling it a hospital. Now, for him to go in there and take their ventilators, I don't go for that. I don't agree with that. Because now what happens when everything lifts up? These guys are going to have no ventilators. They're not going to have access to ventilators to get their business off the ground because now New York State's got them. I mean, New York State can't even make a road sign properly without putting the goddamn deer's antlers on backwards. You know what I mean?
Hard to imagine how they're going to top all this next time something goes crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know what? It's going to swing back around. It's going to swing back around when the weather starts getting colder again, even if it does get out of control. It's a shame, man. I mean, I can go on for hours with this shit because it really pisses me off. You have all these. New York is a very liberal city, right? The first people that was starting to complain and picket in front of the United Nations and all that and other nonsense was when Trump stopped the airlines from flying into New York, and everybody called him racist and everything else. You know what I mean? But you know what? When the pandemic broke out, it was them bastards and the top liberals and all the real estate owners and not real estate owners, but the building owners that were raising all that shit and nonsense. But guess what? They were the first ones that were out of Manhattan. You know what I mean? They jumped into the airports, they got in their jets, and they fucking drove, or they took their drives and they went out to the Hamptons, or they went out to New Hampshire, they went to Vermont. They ran to the hills. You know, they talked a whole bunch of shit, and then all of a sudden they were the first ones to run. You know? That's what gets under my skin, man. You know, it's a shame because it's hypocritical. You know?
Yeah, Pat's living where the new freaking super hot spot is.
What's that?
Pat's where the new super hot spot is.
Yeah. Well, new Louisiana's getting its ass kicked now. That passed us with deaths, I believe.
Michigan is up, exploding up.
Yeah. Well, what was happening? You had people that were from New York and they couldn't catch flights and everything else. So the only place they could fly to was Michigan. You know what I mean? They were flying to Michigan to get an international flight or to catch their other flights all over the place. You know? Yeah, this I don't know. Could have, should have, would have, didn't, but you know what? You know, it's a shame, man. It really is. It really is a shame.
You know, as far as I'm concerned, California, fend for yourselves because we don't know if it's just COVID-19 killing everybody or the fact that the freaking streets are a cesspool.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's a disgrace. That's a disgrace.
You're letting freaking junkies live on the street. They're dropping their needles. They're taking shit here, there, and everywhere. You're not doing a fucking thing about it.
Yeah, but that's in certain districts. Now, if you look at Pelosi's district, it's not where she lives. It's on the other side of town.
Well, of course. You ain't gonna have drug addicts camped out in the rich fucking parts of town.
Yeah. I mean, you have a lot of people out there that are strung out. They're drug addicts and mental problems and everything else. You know what I mean? I can't really blame those people. What I blame
here's the thing. What is she doing about it?
She ain't doing nothing about it.
Exactly.
She ain't doing a goddamn thing about it. Because she don't care because it doesn't affect her.
You know, we don't want to deport anybody out of freaking California. We want to bring more in. Okay, that makes a lot of fucking sense.
Yeah.
Let ICE do the job. Let's get rid of the criminal element, and then let's try to fix the other problem.
Yeah. I mean, I have no problem with it with people of any race, any color. You come to this country, you come through the loop, and you come through here legally. That's great. And you know what? Up here in New York, you have a lot of immigrants from a lot of different cultures. And you know what? Those people that do come in legally are the ones that let me tell you, man, they're very hard workers. They got family values and everything else. Fortunately, you have a lot of shithooks that are coming across, and it just makes it bad for everybody else. You know?
You have the MS-13 gang people.
Well, yeah. Well, you have a lot of gang units from Central America and everything else.
They're being invited, though.
Yeah.
Obama brought them in.
Yeah. Well, you know what? He wanted. I don't even get into him because he was the dumbass that was taken. They were seizing the weapons. They were seizing the weapons up here, and before you know it, they were brought down to Mexico and given to the cartels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that.
We'll see you guys next time. I'm gonna hit.
Yeah.
See, he got me going, man. He got me going.
Dale.
But
So if I win a couple of these auctions, a couple, they're military records, so I'm going to do at least one or two military wise.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to need some help with the paint.
Okay. Can do.
Yeah, I have no frickin' clue how to weather a goddamn thing.
Well, there's lots of videos on it. All right. Everybody's got a different opinion.
Great videos.
Yeah. I
Anyways,
don't build anything but shiny shit. Pat knows that. If it ain't shiny, I don't do it. I can't even get myself to do a wrecked race car yet.
How's that 57 coming?
Almost done. Just a couple
Yeah.
bumps.
Now you laid all that paint down on the top of that, right?
Oh, decals.
Oh, you decals, huh? What setting solution you use on those?
Solve a set.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he knows where his is. He's not a dumbass that lost his.
Putting some little rubber bumpers on the front end.
Oh, the rubber inserts?
Just flat.
Oh yeah, there you go. The big boobs for the bumpers.
Yep.
You painting them or making them?
Got some rubber from tire screws.
Cool.
Nice.
Got rounded in that.
That's it. That's
Could be a little more pointed, but I'll take it.
that's the detail, man. That
That's about the only thing that's not out of the box. It's, something's obviously missing like that. I like to stick it on if it doesn't take too much effort.
Yeah.
Second one since we've been out here tonight. Freight still moving.
That's it. Keep that freight going. That freight goes, that's money going down the run.
Well, there are people that tell you that, oh, there ain't no freight to go.
They're moving tanks and missiles to New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be able to see that going by.
And then they're gonna then they'll ship
Collapsible tents.
them off to LA.
All those collapsible tents they're setting up at all the hospitals. They got to be shipping them around.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a little bit of a light load for UP to be hauling.
Well, they say that from keeping up
all the way around the hospital outside because they expect as long lines, and they're so far everyone I've seen is empty, but they're they're real long. That type of weight stuff with poles,
Yeah.
Yeah, what they do is they got you coming in, standing 6 feet apart, and then they're doing gotta check your temperature and shit first.
But they say there's less there's less people that are actually coming into the hospitals now than there was. Not much less, but
because they canceled all the routine. You were coming in for gallbladder, we'll put that off a couple months, or
yes,
things like that.
Anything that isn't emergency related is nope, you can wait.
Yeah, elective surgeries and everything else. I would just hate. Imagine if you had to have like knee surgery or back surgery done, and it got
next door just had her knee done in middle of March, and they shut everything off for physical therapy. She's asking me about a trainer thing for her bicycle. She's got no physical therapy or not.
Yeah.
Well, that's because everybody's back to. You may have not have remembered how to do everything since you broke in, but they're retraining you. Because you're all going to be taking care of sick people, whether they like it or not. Seen some video about some chick fucking quit. I can't handle it. This isn't what I was supposed to be doing. It's like, really? You went into the frickin' profession to be a goddamn nurse. Now it got a little tough and you're quitting? saying how she cares about the patients, and it's like, then how are you quitting?
Nah, she probably because she thought it was an easy job and just walk from here to there and then that's it.
My point is, she
But
thought,
the other job, it has good days and has really shitty days.
Yeah, just like any profession, just like anything.
I had accidents where I'd go up, cut somebody out that wasn't alive. The ambulance crew was busting their ass the whole time I was cutting it apart. And they knew it was no win, but
I can't believe how much work I got to put into this damn thing, man.
you go from you're doing a rescue to the point where you can tell by looking at your watch that no, it's recovery now.
Yeah.
And you got the whole family out there and they're noticing you slowed down and they're pissed because you've slowed down, and you got your one guy that's got to go out and tell them that it's a recovery. It's over.
Yeah.
Just got to let the guys do their thing to try to find them and bring them out. Because we had one where the mutual aid call that I went on over to St. James, 4-story building, family in it. They got kicked out 6 fucking times. We got there, we were all fighting, we tried to get in again, got pushed back out, and then the next thing we know, boom, 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 all the way to the basement.
Really?
And then we had to go in and try to find the bodies. When we did, we sent a guy out to tell all the news crews, shut them off. We're bringing the bodies out, show some frickin' respect.
Oh, no. They want to get the shot.
No, we had one. Turn the fucking cameras on and had the guy walk out so you get that close up. And there was a fire chief over there. Everybody was calling for his freaking job because he went and grabbed the guy and told him, if you don't shut it off, I'm going to break your fucking neck. It was like they asked you for respect.
Yeah, they ain't going to give it.
Yeah, and freaking reporter, he couldn't get it that it's not something we wanted to do is bring out dead bodies, especially little kids.
Yeah. They don't know.
And the families don't need to see that on the news.
Nope. It's traumatizing enough.
Well, families were there and they could see how bad it was killing us. Shift change. Always sounds like a derailment when they're doing that. Really don't know why this is the freaking shift change location anymore, though. I think they would have done that in Mankato before they fucking left.
All right, now I'm happy again with that model.
I'm always happy when I'm happy.
Now I'm happy again. I was a little pissed off at it. You know? I still got another couple hours worth of work on it just to get the body work on this thing.
Yeah. Remember, breathe.
But you know what? I'll hit the other areas heavy with that Steinel res, and that should be pretty damn good then.
See, if I have one on a car where I got to put a shitload of filler in, I'll hit it with some frickin' surfacer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just because there might be some fucking scratches.
Oh, there's always gonna be scratches.
When I pop that out, man, there's nothing. It's just a sheet of fucking glass.
Yeah. Oh, it's nice. It's a nice surface. It's self-leveling.
I had to quit shooting steno res because I went and started doing about how much I was actually saving.
Yeah.
because shipping is the same for the Stino res as for my auto air, which comes from a different company. I wasn't saving a fucking goddamn dime, but I was saving a few pennies. Tommy was all upset that I was going back to auto air, and it's like, hey, product's just as good as fucking Steiner res.
Yeah. Well, I got the quart bottles of the Steino res. One of my buddies, he's an artist, and he works in Manhattan, and he does a lot of airbrushing for a mask company. So they're always throwing them, they always want them to use their products. So they got a case of us. They got a case of Steino res. So it's like, you want some? I said, yeah. So I got black, white, and gray, the quartz.
It's a good product.
Yeah, how could I pass that up for $15? You know what I mean?
I tried it. I liked it. It was a little cheaper.
Yeah.
But then I started to do the math on how much was I saving, and to make it worse was I had to order from this company every month, and then I had to order from this company, and I wasn't saving any fucking money.
Yeah. Well, if I had to buy that outright, I would have never bought that shit outright. Hell no.
And I started out with auto air, and there's some things about the auto air I like better, which is the colors are more geared toward, well, auto air says it all. It's an auto paint.
Yeah.
Their ceiling colors are more vibrant. So when I order a yellow, it's fucking yellow.
Well, Frankie's happy again.
And I can take, say, this pearlized blue. I can mix it in to the auto air.
Yeah. It's compatible, right?
Everything that Createx makes can be put together.
Yeah. I like the Createx, man. I do like those. I got some opaques, I got some clears. I got a nice little selection back there by my booth.
There's like Paul and them. It's an acrylic, so he's against it.
My last car build, I did all acrylics.
Yeah, so I shoot all auto air, and then I hit it with my 2K.
Yeah. The last build, I did everything acrylics, man. Right down to the coats, man. I used the pledge as a challenge.
I won't use that anymore.
Yeah. It was a challenge, I never really used it much.
Don't use it on a white paint job.
Yeah, just to say, you know what? Let me see if I can replicate it. And you know what? I took my time with it, layered it nice, and I was happy with it, man. I really was.
Because the problem you'll get with the pledge on white,
Yeah,
it will yellow.
yeah. Well, this was it was shot with a pearl, with a red pearl.
Because there's a guy I know, I don't think he's modeling near there, or maybe he's dead, I don't know. But him and his son did matching 55 Chevys. Year into it, his son's was done with, I think he decanted a TS clear, and the old man did it with the pledge. One with the pledge, the white wasn't white anymore.
Yeah, I'm sure it turned to an almost like a bone white or an ivy.
Yeah, it was a dark ivory. It was on its way to full blown yellow, and it looked awful. And he had to tell his son that, all right, you were right, I was wrong, which just about killed him. And then his son had to talk him into not stripping it, because he was so pissed he was going to strip the fucking thing or throw it away. And I just told him point blank, send it up to me. I'll get all the paint off. I'll shoot it with everything I use. And I guarantee if you send your sons with, I will color match that motherfucker. And when you get it back, you won't be able to tell the difference between them. And it's like, except for mine might be a lot more shiny.
Hey, Pat, did you do the bare metal foil on that? Or use the Yeah. I was using the cheap man's bare metal foil on my last build. My last build I did everything on a budget. So I used I actually used the metal duct tape, the metal duct tape.
Mm-hmm.
I actually used that. It came out pretty good, man. It laid down pretty nice, but it was nothing compared to the bare metal foil.
Did you find the thin stuff, or did you use the thick shit?
No, I found some thin stuff.
Okay.
It wasn't. It was good for models, but if you were to wrap like ductwork or anything else, it was shit. You know what I mean? It was useless for ductwork.
I haven't been able to find any thin HVAC tape.
Let me see what
because I used it on a truck that I did, and I had to take the shit off, and it fucking took half the paint on the truck off.
Yeah, this was 3M. Those bastards. I'm just trying to see if there's a stock number on this that I used. It's a 3M product, but it's lighter. It's lighter than the normal duct tape.
Almost everybody around here's got HVAC tape. It's all heavy.
Yeah, I picked it up at the dollar store. So it must have been a bad run.
Now, is that HVAC tape or is that duct tape?
It's HVAC tape. It's HVAC tape. But it's a 3M product, so if I got it from the dollar store, it must have been a bad run. You know, so it must have been too thin from the get-go and it didn't pass the quality control.
Because 3M, you won't see any 3M products in dollar stores usually.
Yeah, exactly. Unless it's a blend or something's wrong with them.
Or it's way out of date.
Yep. It did stick though, man. It did stick. Pretty good. I mean, the adhesive was pretty damn good. I mean, it was just thin. So I guess it was too thin for market.
See, I have never had any problems with BMF except for when it's so fucking old it ain't got no stick in it.
Yeah. Well, that's like anything. Even with the bare metal foil, if it's old and it's been laying around for a while, it goes too.
Yeah, that's the problem I got is the little frickin' scraps I got left. It's just all shot.
Use it up before it gets old.
And
yeah.
I can mask it and spray it. I just have to be in the mood to fucking do that much masking.
Well, I was using the Molotov, the Molotov, and I was actually using the refill on it and using a brush on that. But the problem with that stuff is you can't coat it. Once you coat it, that's it. It's done. You know, the shine's right out of it.
And you can't handle it.
You can't handle it, can't touch it. Sometimes you can't even look at it.
That's why I like to spray mine with this auto air stuff that just came out. You can fucking handle that shit. It doesn't come off. Where my preferred line is Alclad, but you got to be careful with that. How hard you hit it with the frickin' aqua gloss, or that turns to shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if you hit it too fucking hard, you've lost. it'll flatten right out. And I've never had the balls to try to 2K over that to see if it'll hold. I got one set of rims around here somewhere that I actually hit those with the Alclad and aqua glossed them.
See, rims and stuff like that, I can get away with the Molto, because I'll just put that right in my airbrush and spray it, because I know it's really not going to get messed with, you know?
Yeah, I played with the Molto and I don't like it.
Yeah, you got to lay it. You got to get used to the way of laying it down.
Well, it's too much the same as this.
What is that? Whoop, I lost you. Let's see where we're at. Hang on. Yeah.
And, you know, kit chrome, it's nowhere close to friggin' what it should be.
Yeah.
Because if you go friggin' take it, you know, people say, well, it's out of scale. No, go put it up against the chrome on your car and tell me what it is. And I don't know what they use, but it's not actually chrome. And now the stuff on Silvano Juniors, evidently that's the real deal. They've somehow figured out how to make it work. Because can't remember who it was that was doing the inbox review. They took a fucking knife and they tried to scrape it off. You can't scrape it.
Well, you had good, nice adhesion.
It's metal. It's not what they put on this stuff. It's actually, I mean, it looks the same as what's on the bumper of your car. You know, so once I heard that, I can see the price being higher now than where I thought it should be. You know, it's new tool, so it should be up, but I thought it was still a little high. Yeah, not so much anymore. I mean, if you're getting fucking metal chrome, that's some boys that went out of their way to make the kit way better. But I haven't really seen any Fords. I'll do one when they come out with an 83, 84, 85, 86, or an 87, 88 Thunderbird kit. I haven't decided if I'm going to strip these and spray them yet or not. Probably going to have to because I want to drill them. Probably
3 hours and 18 minutes and it's still going. 3
Yeah,
hours.
I don't get it because
3:18.
it booted us at what, 2.5?
Something just over 2.
And now all of a sudden we're still at 3 and we were almost 4 the last time or the time before that. And it's freaking weird. I'm too dumb to know how to figure it out, so at least that's what I've been told. I was too stupid. I'm just a dumb rural guy that knows nothing. It's just dumb luck that my paint jobs turn out. No, I was thinking that sucker was going to be too long to fit in there. Yeah. I'll flip it over tomorrow when I take all the other stuff out. And I wasn't going to do the headlights and taillights on this, but when I did the other ones, I found out that they needed to be stripped. There's no way you're going to get those to go in where they're supposed to. There's so much chrome on them.
Well, fellas, I'm jumping ship.
See you later, Frankie.
All right, have a great night, guys.
Hope you got your life preserver on.
Yeah, I know. I'm jumping ship. Jumping ship right into my bed. All right, guys. Thanks
Have
a
a
lot.
good one.
Great night. Bye-bye.
I can't believe that we haven't been booted. And are you watching?
No, I had the chat up.
Okay, so
Yeah, I got it running right now. I got to stop it.
well, evidently mine doesn't count because the other night when it was just me, I had one watching and I was talking to him.
I got it turned off now.
Yeah, and it still says 3 unless I have to freaking refresh. Hate this whole refreshing crap. Yeah, it still says 3. Oh, that freaking rain last night kicked me ass. Needs to quit doing that. My yard needs to firm up so I can move that truck. Or it sinks so far that I gotta haul dirt in to fill the crater. I hate lettering these tires with a toothpick. But I got no white freaking decals. Man, when I say none, I mean I got none. I used them already. I didn't think of it because I haven't had any freaking older ones to do. So did I tell you that I made that guy with the Davy Allison cars freaking I lowballed him and he accepted it.
Mm.
Paid $10 a kit. And no shipping. I was like, whoa, there was a shocker. So I'll have to put some decals up for that. I never liked the black Havoline car, so I won't build it that way. I'll use the decals that I bought. Put those to that kit. Whoa, that got away from me. That big time got away from me. Still can't believe it. Freaking 2 broads. How freaking ignorant can you be? Especially when you got a hospital in a rural hospital in your town that they're gonna get hit eventually. They're gonna need everything they can get. Couldn't believe I popped my shoulder today. That freaking hurt. I think it made it worse. So yeah, I was watching my local news and Michigan came up. So it's one of the new freaking fastest hotspots going. You better watch your ass when you go out in public, man.
Because they're doing more testing.
What?
Because they're doing more testing.
What? That there's a new hotspot? A new hotspot because they got freaking people dying like crazy. Another reason I'm glad I'm not in a metro type area. We'll see, but I got the idea these outlaw and rural areas are going to probably get through the best. Oh, it's two. I wonder if I. No, it won't pop. $115. All right, guys, we're gonna end the live stream. Thanks for coming in and watching. And we'll, if I ever get on the right page, I forgot what I was doing.
See you later.
Just hold on, I ain't up there yet. So try to catch you guys at a later date. Have a good one.